Please welcome your Chief Ambassador, Marty Hale.
Hey, you're the man. Wow. Who wants to go to Mexico? I'm going to Mexico, for sure. If I have to hide in someone's luggage, I'm going to Mexico. I've actually been to this resort, and I'm telling you, it's on the top 5. You don't want to miss this resort. You don't want to miss this trip. So anyhow, can you guys believe everything that was launched this weekend? I mean, seriously, really think about it. Look at the screen here. I mean, from Power Up, Washington, D.C., Albania, Mexico, California. Nope, hold that one. There's another one, I don't remember it, but Australia. I mean, it's just unbelievable almost. It's like, I mean, what does it say to you? What is that right there? All of the things, the Mentor Madness, the new sustainability report, the new Spanish tools, the V-launch. I mean, what does that say to you? You know what it says to me? It says Veridian is not just here to stay. Veridian is here to win. Veridian is here to be number one. Veridian is here to be the world champions in the industry of network marketing. You see, we're doing things nobody else has ever done before. And we're committed to being number one. So you might be thinking, looking at all these, launches and promos and, I mean, all the information, you might be a little overwhelmed going, oh my gosh, I don't even know where to start. Anybody feeling a little bit like that? I mean, it's easy to feel like that when you come to an event, isn't it? It's like, oh my God, there's all these things and moving parts, and where do I focus? What do I do? Well, I'll tell you where you need to focus, folks. Between now and the end of this promo, you need to focus on getting mad. Right? I mean, seriously, get mad at yourself for the lack of discipline that you've had over the last weeks and the last days and the last months. Get mad at yourself. Slap yourself around. Go ahead. It's okay. Slap yourself around a little bit. Because it will create emotion inside of you to do something about it, to stand up for you and your family, your kids, your grandkids, your loved ones. You got to focus on mentor madness. Right now is the time to build your team. Right? On a little bit more serious note, I don't know about you, but I had a whole lot of fun this weekend. What? Oh. We started off with Michael poking fun at the one and only America's team, the Dallas Cowboys. Can you believe he had the audacity to do that? It just broke my heart. But, when you really think about it, the facts say otherwise. I mean, we have been in 20% of all the Super Bowls in the history of the game. 20%! But not only that, we've won 5 rings, one for each finger. 5%. Isn't that something? It really does say something, right? Those stinking Seattle Seahawks of his, I tell you what. I love it. He's not here, so I can say anything I want, get away with it, right? No, but in all seriousness, when you think about it, guys, Texans really are proud. Dallas Cowboy fans are really, really, really proud. Even when, we hate them, we love them, But when you consider 5 Super Bowl championships, 5, guys, 5 Super Bowl championships, you've got to ask a question. How? How did they do it? Because if we're going to become the Super Bowl champions of network marketing, if we are going to be number one in the world, we've got to figure out how we're going to do it from this day forward. Would you agree with me? Well, I'll tell you how they did it. You heard Drew Pearson talk about it yesterday. He said they did it with character. That's what Tom Landry looked for, right? Character. He looked for passion. He looked for intelligence, and he looked for talent. But he knew that he could build, he could create the talent, he could develop the talent. It's not the kind of talent that people think you're born with. It's the kind of talent that you've got to work on, that you've got to grow. Your personal development, that's the kind of talent that is going to be required for us to win the Super Bowl, right? That's how they did it. And whether you like him or not, quite frankly, old Jerry Jones got a little bit of talent, doesn't he? Those of you from Dallas know what I'm talking about. The rest of you, it went right over the top. I'm not going to explain that one, though. But he's got talent. You know, when I look back at those back-to-back Super Bowl wins and I think about Jimmy Johnson, guys, one of the most talented coaches to ever coach the game, but not just those guys. I mean, from Troy Aikman to Michael Irvin to Drew Pearson to Emmitt Smith to Jay Novacek to Daryl Johnson the Moose to Deion Sanders to the entire team. I mean, they were all talented and gifted at what they did. They were the best of the best at their time in the game. They produced more than anybody else produced. Out of the thousands and thousands of players, they were the best in the league. And you know what? They competed against each other. Did you hear me? They competed against each other 6 days a week. Am I right, Frank? That's right. What did they compete for? They competed for who would be number one, who would be on the field first string on Sunday afternoon. You see, they wanted to be the starting quarterback or the starting running back or the starting wide receiver or the starting linebacker. They competed literally 6 days a week for that position, for that spotlight, for that time on the field. They competed against each other. It didn't mean that they weren't a team. It didn't mean they didn't love each other. It just meant that they had a championship attitude. And to be number one, they knew that they needed to compete against each other in a healthy competition, right? I'm going to tell you right now, Bill Bates came and spoke at one of my high school football banquets. And he told the story, and I don't have time to go through this, but he told the story of how he got drafted to the Dallas Cowboys. And the bottom line was, every time the coaches said it's half speed, Bill Bates would go full speed. He was a free safety, and they would say it was half speed. And so, the running backs or the wide receivers would just be jogging out and catch the ball, and he'd just knock their head off, right? And of course, the offensive coaches would come over and start yelling at him and cursing at him and everything else, and he'd get back to the defensive huddle, and they'd pat him on the butt and say, "Good hit, Bill, good hit." And he got noticed because he was full speed all the time. Yes, we compete as a team. We have to compete against each other. Folks, it does take talent, and that's how they did it. But it didn't just take talent, did it? What else did it take? It took a team, right? Because if you separated them from each other, if you put them, even if you kept them together, but they didn't play together as a team, they would have never made it to the Super Bowl. I can tell you what it's like to play at this type of level of the game. I know what it's like to feel like the quarterback is an extension of my body. I know what it's like to know exactly what that front line is thinking while they're thinking it without ever having a conversation with them. I know what it's like to be one mind and one body and one organism together. And that's how they did it. I don't know if you're a Dallas Cowboy football fan or not, but man, I'll never forget watching the plays that they made as a team. It was like they could read each other's mind. Like they knew exactly what each other was thinking in the heat of the moment. And they would cover up for each other, and they would make up for each other. I mean, they would do each other's jobs when they weren't expected to do each other's jobs. They were a team. But guys, it doesn't just take talent to win Super Bowls, and it doesn't just take playing together as a team to win a Super Bowl. You know what it takes? It takes what's between your ears. It takes this right here. Bob Q said it. Several other people said it. Thoughts become things. It takes your belief. You've got to think that you're a champion right now, right here, today. You've got to believe with all your heart, mind, and soul that you are a champion, that you are number one, that you deserve to play on Sunday, that you're better than the other guy, that you're better than the other gal. You've got to believe in yourself like nobody else believes in you. You've got to find a way to think you're great, to think that you deserve it, that you're the best in the room, that you're the best presenter, that you're the best three-way, that you're the best closer, that you're the best trainer, that you're the best at everything. And believe it. With no doubt, the words "I'll try" should not exist in your vocabulary. It's just giving you room for an excuse, guys. When your sponsor says, "Hey, when are you going to get promoted to partner? When are you going to go ambassador?" And you say, "Well, I'll try." Doesn't exist. The words "I can't" should never be in a sentence that comes out of your mouth. Ever. For you see, as a man thinks, so is he. What do you think about yourself? Do you really believe that you are a champion? Do you believe that you deserve to be number one? Do you believe that you deserve to replace Frank and Joe in this company? It's okay, that's healthy competition. We're still gonna play together as a team. But you need to believe that you deserve to be number one, that you have the work ethic to be number one, that you have the discipline to be number one, that you have the talents and the skills to be number one. And if you don't, then start working on them so that you do believe that. You know, the Bible says that faith can move mountains. And some of you might not know what faith is. But faith is the conviction of what you cannot see. The conviction of what you cannot see. You see, when Jenna Marzullo signed up on a Craigslist ad, she couldn't see any of this. But she was convicted that it would be. Same thing with Joe and Frank. I know, I've talked to them. When they got started, they were making a decision on who would open which market first, and they made a decision, and they went out, and they stuck their freaking flag in the ground and staked their claim because they believed, they were convicted that it would become a reality. And so, guys, you've got to have faith. You know, the Bible says that the faith of a tiny little mustard seed can move mountains. Guys, have you ever seen a mustard seed? It's not very big. If you just have this much conviction, just this much, that's all you need. You just need this much conviction to move mountains. I know we say, man, I could never have tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands or even millions of associates in my downline. There's no way I could have tens of millions of customers. Guys, like I said, I had 25 million customers at the same time. I know it's hard for you to believe that because of Viridian 1.0 and all the problems, and even Viridian 2.0 and then the changes and everything else and all that baggage. We've got to put all that behind us. We've got to forget about it. It should never come out of your mouth ever again. Because every time it does, you're bringing it back into your life. It's because you're not convicted. And guys, I'm going to tell you, we have a mountain before us to move. And if you're not convicted that we can move it, we will not move it. And you know what that mountain is? It's the Super Bowl championship of network marketing. You heard Michael talk about it, didn't you? 1 million customers, $1 billion in revenue. Why wait for 36 months? Why set a goal for 36 months or even 24 months? Why not set a goal for 12 months? Do you guys know that Excel went from where we are right now, as far as revenue is concerned, to $1.4 billion in 12 months.
Let's do it in 6.
Did you guys hear that? Did you guys hear that? Say what? Hey, before the internet. Before the cell phone, really, it was a big bag phone I'll never forget. Big, huge bag phone, guys, with a cable on the end of it, like your rotary one, that you had to plug into your car at all times, or you had, unbelievable, right? They went from $300 million in revenue to $1.4 billion in 12 months. So why do we talk about 36 months and 24 months and 4 years? Why do we delay that? You know why? Because we're not convicted of that which we cannot see. We don't believe it for some reason. We have a mountain to move. And I'm going to tell you, championships, folks, are not won by chance or coincidence. Championships are won by one thing, and that's confidence. You've got to believe that we will win. We have to believe that we are number one, that we're better than the other guy. You see, whether you believe and whether you think you can or think you can't, you're right. And I'm going to tell you what I think. I don't think it was a coincidence that Michael Falquist was introduced to network marketing. I don't think it was just a coincidence that that happened. I don't believe it was a coincidence that he met Rob McFadden and those paths crossed, nor that Rob introduced Cammie to the mix. I don't believe it was a coincidence. I'm tired and I cry when I'm tired. I don't believe it was a coincidence that Jenna Marzullo was in the situation that she was in when she responded to that Craigslist ad. There was a purpose for her to be in that situation. I don't believe it was a coincidence when Joe and Frank were introduced to the business. And as I said, they staked their claim by sticking their flag in the ground and proving that it could be done. I don't believe it was a coincidence when they introduced Bob Q. And Bob Q took the charge and went and enrolled folks like John and Lela and Ralph and so many others, and they took the flag. And I don't believe it's a coincidence when the Kennys took the charge and they went out and did the same thing, and they talked to people that most of us wouldn't even talk to, like an 80-year-old man. How many of you would go prospect an 80-year-old individual? Most of you would think he's too old, wouldn't you? But yet that individual, it wasn't a coincidence that he introduced Anthony Serino. It wasn't a coincidence that I was introduced to this company when I was, nor that I knew Scott Berman. And guys, I'm telling you, it is not a coincidence that we are in Dallas, Texas today, home of 5-time Super Bowl champions, and today is the Super Bowl. I don't believe it's a coincidence that you, and I wish I could look every single one of you in the eye, that you are here. It is not a coincidence. You are meant to be here. It's your destiny to be here. But we have to remember, again, that championships are not won by coincidence. They're won by confidence. And I don't know about you, but I am confident. I am confident, and I believe that you are too. Who has the best owner and founder in the entire league? We do. We do, right? Who has the best staff in the entire league? We do, right? Who has the best playbook, the best compensation plan in the entire league? We do, right? Who has the best tools in the whole game? We do, right? But there's something a whole lot more meaningful, a whole lot deeper. Who has the best culture in the entire industry? We do, right? Who has the best leadership in the game? We do. Who has the best team in the league? We do, right? We do. For who are we? I'll tell you who we are. We are champions. We're not done here. We are not done. We are not done. Don't you dare walk out that door if you're on this team. This team is still at practice today because we have a Super Bowl to win. I know you got to pee. I do too. Put it off. Pinch it off. Squeeze it off. Do something. On a more serious note, guys, I'm going to tell you, I spent hours watching videos for this day right now to find the perfect video that I believe represents exactly where we are as a team. And it's tough to do that, because there's just little bitty intricacies here or there that don't match who we are or where we are or what we're all about. And so you can't use this one, you can't use that one, even though they all have such tremendous stuff, tremendous information and motivation and inspiration, they don't have what we need. And that's the message I want to give today, is what we need, what we have to have. And so look, guys, we're gonna watch a short video, and it starts a little slow, but here's the reason why I want to watch the entire thing. And then I'm going to come back up here and wrap it up just in a couple of minutes, okay? So it won't take long to be done, and we'll go to the Super Bowl party. But here's what I want you to do. There's a gentleman by the name of Brock in this video. Anyone ever seen the movie Facing the Giants? So there's an individual by the name of Brock in this video, and I want you to visualize in your mind's eye that you are Brock. You, not the person beside you. You are Brock. And it's going to start a little slow, so be patient. Don't start talking to the person beside you. Don't look at your text messages. Don't take a break for a tenth of a second during this video, because every single second, I decided to play a long video. It's a long one. It's like 5 minutes long, because every single second of this video represents you, represents me, represents this team and where we are today. You're the most influential players on this team. You. And if you doubt, they will doubt. If you don't believe, they won't believe. And I know that you have more in you than what I've seen. I know for a fact that you do. I saw you build a company to $328 million with nothing to do it with. You did that. I know that you've got more in you. And I know we're facing giants. I know we are. You know what? They are bigger than us. They are faster than us. They do have more experience than we do. They do make more money than we do. And you know what? Not only are they and Ignite and a whole lot of other people out there looking at us saying they don't have what it takes. They don't have the will. They're complacent with their income levels. They're taking it easy. All they're about is being green. They don't care about really changing their lives. They don't have what we have. We don't have to worry about them knocking us off the pedestal. We don't have to worry about them being number one. But they don't know you like I do. They don't know the heart that you have. They don't know the love that you have. They don't know that you are a champion. $1 million a month. $1 million a month. $1 million a month. $1 million a month. We're not stopping. Guys, it's a privilege. It's been a privilege to serve you. We're going to end it here. We're headed to the Super Bowl party. Starts at 4 o'clock. I love each and every one of you. And I believe, beyond the shadow, 4:30. Thank you for my coach here, Scott. I'm telling you. Free food, free drinks, anything else. Let me tell you something, guys. I know we're about to have a whole lot of fun this afternoon. But what we better take home with us today, tomorrow, is that we better go kick some butt in 2016 and become the number one company in this industry, okay? Thank you, guys. You guys got it.